This show is sponsored by Lila Arboretum Society.
Hello, I'm Vi Gogol. I'm Master Gardener, and we're going on the garden tour. And we're at the home of Homer and Pat Root. Hello.
Hi, Vi.
Hi, Vi.
Let's talk about what we've got here behind us. Can you see the Japanese maple behind us there, Dave? Okay. I see she's got some boxwood there right next to it. You trim those all the time to keep them that shape?
We tried to. They're a little, they have suffered a little winter damage this year, so it was hard to trim, and it still needs a little more. But they are coming back, so we're pleased with that.
Yeah, mine were. And then over this way, a little bit towards the driveway, we have a hummingbird flag. Do the hummingbirds come and look at it?
Well, I did see one the other day looking at it. Yes, I did.
I have gone in my garden with something bright, dark pink or red, and had them come right up that close to me.
Oh, I did on the back deck the other day. It was almost scary. I don't know what's happening.
First time it happened. Second time it didn't bother me. Okay, and the yellow roses, do we have a name for that or no?
That's Sisters at Heart.
Sisters at Heart.
And that is in honor of our daughter.
Okay.
And this is our in memory and in honor garden. And then the little rose in the middle, which isn't really blooming very much, is in honor of our 50th anniversary, which was 7 years ago.
So you're at least 57 years old.
That's true. And plus.
Okay.
And the rose that we had on the other end in honor of our son, past son, has died. The rose died. And so I've just put something else in there. But the bird's nest spruce is in memory of our son who passed away in 2007.
Okay, let's stop. We're at the side of the house now, and over near the front of the yard is a beautiful stand of Annabelle hydrangeas. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yes,
Annabelle?
it is. We planted, I think it was 5 hydrangeas in there, maybe 7 years ago, and they have just grown a lot. And we're real proud of them this year. I think they're really very nice.
And see, they wouldn't have been in bloom if we had this garden tour earlier.
It's true. That's true. In the middle of the hydrangeas, you'll see a redbud tree, which of course they bloom in the early spring. And that was given to us by some friends in memory of our son John as well.
That's so nice when people do that.
Yeah, they know that we like gardening, and so that's a lot of our birthday presents, Christmas presents are garden themed.
Okay, this is one of your replacement trees?
This is one of our replacement trees. This is a ginkgo, and they're an unusual shaped tree. They don't have lots of branches, but I like the shape of the leaves. If you can see the shape of the leaf, it's just so cool. And then in the fall, it turns bright yellow. And that's a very pretty tree in the fall. But as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of branches on it, even though we've had it here for 3 years.
Well, that's not very long for a tree.
No, not long for a tree.
Okay, well, over here by your deck, we've had some lilies that decided they didn't want to be on garden tour.
Yeah, that's true. This is the only original garden in the whole yard. The lilies and the privet hedge and the grass, the Hokkena grass, is that how you pronounce it?
I call it Japanese forest grass because I can't pronounce the Latin
name.
Okay,
Japanese forest grass that it will be. And that is the only original garden, that one right there.
I love
Everything else, I love those grasses, yes. Everything else is something that we have changed or done ourselves.
And you've got some your vegetable garden on your deck here.
Well, we had to keep the Swiss chard on the deck in order to keep it away from the bunnies.
Oh yeah. I guess they couldn't get up those steps, could they?
No, but they can really stand up on their hind legs. I saw them out in the backyard the other day, standing on their hind legs, chewing on something.
Most everybody complains about deer, and here you're complaining about the rabbits.
Oh, and they're very prolific in this neighborhood.
Okay, let's move on down this way a little bit more. I see you got some
foam flower.
Foam flowers.
Oh, hens and chickens, yes.
Hens and chickens.
This is sort of our coral bell garden, I would call it, and the gnome garden. And the little fountain was a birthday present from Homer. As you will go through the garden and see, a lot of our things, as I've said before, are birthday gifts and Christmas gifts.
And I love that shoe. I'm so glad we don't have to wear them.
That is a cute shoe, isn't it? I found that at a garage sale, and I thought I can do something with that.
Okay, and here is what kind of a creature is that?
Oh, the bug?
Is that a bug? I was going to
Yes.
say he's got antenna, so he's not
Yeah,
a frog.
He's some kind of a bug. I don't know. He was a Christmas gift from the neighbors.
That's cute.
Uh-huh.
Really cute. And then
And
you,
the little artwork there, the I don't know what to call it, the blue
Yeah.
plate. These are projects that I have done through the years with my granddaughter, who's now 18, but every year for the past years that she's been living in Michigan, which has been since she was 5, she's come to spend a week with us. And when she comes, she does a wood shop project with Grandpa, and then a crazy fun project for the garden with Grandma. So that one, and also the little plate over here,
Oh, that's
is
cute.
projects that
Little flower.
Allison and I have done together.
okay. Behind us, there's another tree, I think, or is
This is a wolf-eye dogwood, And we just bought this dogwood at the plant sale this year, so it's just a little guy.
it's beautiful though, and it'll be so pretty.
I think it will.
You got it this year?
We got it this year.
Okay, so it didn't have to go through that hard winter we had.
No, so hopefully it'll do well.
Yeah, it's a nice arbor, and I see you had some Dutch people visiting, and they forgot to take their shoes with them.
Yes, well, they had to take them off at the door.
Oh, right. I hate that when people make me do that. Sometimes if I've got my dress shoes on, it means I have a hole in my nylon, and I have to sit there with my toes sticking out. What's growing over the arbor?
That's autumn clematis, and the one on this side was growing very, very nicely until the bunny rabbit decided he wanted to chew it off. So as you can see, it's dying, but the other one is doing well. So
Hey.
I'm real happy with that.
No.
Were given to me in 1987 by my sister. She made them in ceramics, and so every garden that I've had since then, they've been sitting out in the garden, and we pack them away in the winter and then get them out again in the spring, and we really enjoy them. And so it's kind of a little memory to my sister who has passed away that I can have them out in the garden.
Okay, and right behind is Crosnicosia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right.
Crosomia?
Is that how you say it? Crosnicosia?
That's how I say it, so I
Okay.
don't know.
That sounds better than the way I say it. I'll have to practice that.
There's 3 different plants of crosomia back there, and the hummingbirds really like
I
that,
know
and
they
it's
do.
just
Yeah.
coming out. I'm really pleased with that. Yes.
You have a bird there that's got wings to flap, but it's not flapping them.
Well, there's no wind right now, so he's
Good.
not flapping, and that little guy, he has flapped off all of those wings and been repaired quite a few times by Homer, but
Okay, and coming back towards the arbor before we go into the back garden with the arbor, there's another one of your projects. I think I like that one best.
the flower made out of the glass.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that one's one of ours that we made one year. That's very pretty. We enjoy that.
Well, let's go through this arbor and
The one shoe that has the name Allison on it, that is our granddaughter's shoe. She's a Dutch dancer up at Holland every year, and so that's one of her shoes. And on the bottom of it, she has worn it out from dancing.
really.
Yes. And they go through about 2 pair or 3 pair a year in their Dutch dancing. She works at the village up there.
We might mention about you said the autumn, sweet autumn clematis. That really has a wonderful smell.
Oh, it does.
That's why it's
It
called
does.
sweet.
Here's our Dutch boy and girl.
Here I thought that they'd lost their shoes, and Mary had her little lamb here.
Yes. Here's the lambs over here. Like I said, this is our farm garden, and this is from when we both grew up on the farm, and so this depicts sort of our relationship with the farm.
Okay.
And back here you can see Porky and Petunia's house.
I can't see real close. It's that reddish, maroonish color flower. I can't tell what it is from. Is it a cone flower or
I
something?
think it's a blanket flower.
It's a blanket flower. Oh, the burgundy ones. Okay, moving right along.
That's the little chicken coop that Homer built for me, and that's the 3 little hens, and those are gifts of a fellow coworker when I was working, and so it's been a joy to put things like that out.
I almost want to laugh when you say when I was working. You're working harder now than you ever did when you were getting paid for it.
And Nancy at the Farm Bureau told me that I needed a cow, so she tucked me into the cow down there.
Looks like it's got babies. We'll have to find some little babies to put out in front. Okay, I can't remember the name of the yellow flower.
That is basket flower. It has a long name, Centaurea,
Centaurea?
macrophala,
Yeah,
something like that. But it's also known as basket flower.
yeah. Well, remember that name. That's easier to say.
Yes, basket flower. It's called sunflower, and the bunny rabbits really like that too. They've eaten a lot of the flowers. But
Fortunately, they can't get up high enough to get
No,
to,
they can't get
to
the
all of
flower.
them.
This is a cup flower.
Oh, yes. And do the birds come and drink out of the cup flower?
You know, I don't know. I've heard that they do, but I don't know.
I've heard that too, but I've never seen
Oh, and
it.
it does. One of them does have a flower on the top. The flower is such a nondescript flower
Yeah.
for the foliage that's on that.
But that makes a nice privacy screen too.
Yes, it does. You know, before the storm, we did not see the neighbor's yard at all, or their house, or the barns. So now we have the sun garden. So
We've got to put up a privacy
we
screening.
have to do our own privacy screen.
And what is this evergreen here? Do we have? Oh, it's a Fraser fir.
Yes.
Oh, I love them.
Yes, that's a Fraser fir. That again was one of my Christmas presents.
Is that a euphorbia down there?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Oh,
is.
good.
That's yellow. That is very pretty in the early spring. Uh-huh.
We've got the black-eyed Susan vine growing up the,
Yeah.
the stake there. And what are the little yellow flowers behind there?
Oh, that's Coreopsis.
Coreopsis. There's so many different ones of that.
Right. I'm not sure the name. I just know that it's a Coreopsis.
Okay, and you've got the red hummingbird. It's not hummingbird vine. That's what everybody calls it, but it's honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle. Yes. Uh-huh.
And that the hummingbirds like the
Oh,
red
they
flowers.
Do. They do. Uh-huh.
A few lilies back here too.
Yes, these are my Easter lilies from last year blooming. And then this year's Easter lilies have been planted and they're coming up again. I don't know if they'll grow this or bloom this year, but I always plant my Easter lilies and they come right out. So that's kind of fun.
I don't remember the name of that one that's in the pot.
That's an eyeball plant.
That's what I wanted to say, but I think that's the common name.
Yeah, I don't know the real name.
I don't know
It's
either.
an eyeball plant.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They look like eyeballs.
The vine on the fence right there is a bittersweet, and it takes over. So we have to kind of keep it trimmed back so that it doesn't go up into our tree, but it's kind of fun to have.
Oh, we've come to a vegetable garden
Well, yeah.
and a pit, a fire pit.
What used to be the woods has now become a picnic area, so we have the table in the picnic area and the fire pit where we can roast marshmallows with the family or friends. And
You know, that's really a great idea when you lose that much of your garden to find something that you can set there, and you don't really have to plant anything
right.
to take the place of the trees. Yes.
And you'll notice the potting bench back there that Homer made. We sort of have our little collection of some birdhouses up there, along with some watering cans. And,
Who left her teacup out here?
well, that's my teacup for when I relax in that chair.
I left my coffee on the picnic table when I went rushing out to get somewhere today. And when I came back home, I was sitting there. I thought I'll just heat it up again. There are bugs in it.
Oh no, oh no. And then see the little fairy house over there that Homer made?
Oh, that's so cute. There's little fairies there.
Yeah.
Okay, now that bush that's on the side of the shed. Is that a shed?
Yes, yes, that's climbing hydrangea.
That's the climbing hydrangea. Oh, look at, we got a bird at the bird feeder. Looks like some kind of a woodpecker.
Probably a downy.
He's behind the post, so it's hard for Dave to see him.
Oh, yes.
There.
He is.
Can you see him now, Dave?
He's on the suet, Dave.
And here comes a chickadee to chase it away. Ooh. I don't know what that. I don't know what that bird is.
I think it's a juvenile downy.
It could be.
Yeah, we have a lot of juveniles around here in the downy population.
Yeah, I don't see many of that family of birds, except when I go to the VA to volunteer. They come to the feeders.
Oh, yes. I call them fake birdhouses because the birds can't use them, but they're just kind of there. However, some of the little stuff that I put in there for them to have effect, the birds have pulled it out
They make their nest with
and
it.
use it with their nest. So
That's a good idea to give them material. You can stick some yarn in there.
right.
But don't use the stuff that comes out of your dryer.
Now,
I read somewhere, somebody was telling us, we ought to say that. And then I don't know where I heard it, but they said that it acts like a saw. It's so sharp that it can damage their little beaks.
Oh my. Uh-huh.
So we got that word out fast. Don't do that. Okay, well, a lot of the flowers are past blooming in this garden. But
Yes.
you got the nice little
So
bird.
this is the September morn anemone,
Okay.
and that won't be out till probably September.
Okay. And let's see, bleeding hearts. Oh, look at the nice view here of all the flowers that are down by your patio. Got the red Japanese maple in there. Is that a blood?
That's a blood good.
Good.
We bought that at the Lila plant sale, and when we bought it, it was only as tall as the wall, and so that has really grown a lot now.
Really. And then you've got these barberries for the color. So many people don't realize that you don't just buy flowers. They bloom sometimes for a short time,
Right.
and then you don't have any color there. But if you pay attention to foliage color, you can get a lot more color in the garden. I don't know what we're getting on camera down there.
Probably Homer's garden.
Oh yeah, see Homer laying in the
That's Homer in the hammock, and then
his garden's in the wheelbarrow.
His garden's in the wheelbarrow. And Homer, you'll have to
We're
tell
picking
him
on you.
about your theory.
My theory was years ago we were moving plants all the time. So I suggested we buy wheelbarrows, put the plants in the wheelbarrows, just move the wheelbarrows. No holes to dig.
You're saying that kind of as a joke, but for people who don't have much sun, that works really well
Yes, it
because
does.
they can put tomatoes in there and then they can move them around all day long so they get sun.
That's right.
Okay, well let's move on down this bank.
Okay.
Let's
I'm
see.
so glad the coneflowers are out because I was afraid they might not be out yet, but they are very pretty and they last such a long time.
Oh,
That's what I like about
And
coneflowers.
that's what makes them good for the butterflies and the hummingbirds,
Uh-huh.
and also for cut flowers because when you pick them and take them inside, they last a long time.
Right, right.
And let's see, we've got. Is this your blueberry?
Yes, the blueberries are gone. We've picked them all. And what I didn't pick, the birds did. They found a way to get in on the bottom there.
And then we have a baptisia here next to this huge hosta. And is this the blue one or the yellow?
This is Cherry's Jubilee. It is sort of pinkish.
Pinkish.
Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
It's very pretty in the spring. And then I like the little pods that come out on it.
Do they turn black like the other ones
Yes,
do?
they do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this is that you can pick some of this greenery and put it in with a bouquet, to make some arrangements, and it makes it really cool.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good idea. Plant some more of that. Okay, is there anything over here that you didn't get? Oh yeah, there's a lot of things you didn't get because you couldn't see it from up there. back there next to the wall. That really shows off the gazing ball and the other little, the boy and the girl that you've got there. Shows that off nice next to that wall.
And there's some more of the Japanese forest grass.
Yeah.
I like that. And then you see another one of my plates that I made one year with Allison.
And you've got a bird bath over there to even more attract the birds in.
And that plant with the big leaf is butterbur.
Oh, all right. It's behind the maple.
Uh-huh.
And that's Palace Purple.
Uh-huh.
Palace Purple. I think I always say it the wrong way. I don't know which. I think it's not Purple Palace. It's Palace Purple. And you've got some hydrangeas here too, next to the house.
Right.
When let's see, I can't name any of the ones that aren't in bloom, but the other one over there, that's one we fell in love with immediately when it came out.
Oh, yes, the Invincible Hydrangea.
Yeah.
Yes, the pink one. The other two are Endless Summer, and they're pink as well. I don't put anything in them to make them blue. They're pink as well.
And there's one blossom way down there by the ground.
Yes, yes. Each one of them has one blossom, but this year may be a really bad year for them because they bloom on old wood, so they don't have a lot of buds on them yet. And then this is my in honor garden and in memory garden of those in our family and friends who have cancer. So this has been our pink garden, and it's just kind of fun to work with that.
Oh, it's a nice way to remember people.
It is. It is.
It's a
And I don't think there's any family that hasn't been touched with cancer. So,
no, me included.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, and around. Oh, there's another plate arrangement.
Yes, the plate's nice, but the lilies are gone.
That is so pretty. And then, oh, we're coming to the, well, on the back side of us over here, we've got some,
Some lilies and some butterfly weed.
yep. Butterflies have so many things to feast on here. I don't know if they even go to the butterfly weed, would they?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, back here on the wall. I'm still going. We haven't got the weed in yet. You got to tell me again what this thing is that's setting in your
The
garden.
ornament, well, the ornament is an ornament to us. It was actually on the top of the building over at Cat's Well Drilling, and during the storm, it propelled through the air and ended up back here on the wall. So I talked Mike Katz into letting me have it. Now that's quite a little distance for it to
Well,
come.
yeah, it's about half a mile.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's over on Michigan.
And I can't believe that they're saying those were straight line winds.
I
not
know.
when something like that happens.
I know. This lower level was all yellow roses, and Homer gave me 12 yellow roses one year for my birthday, and then they died out this winter, and the one lone one I think is going to go yet. So we redid this garden this year as well, and these are some things from the neighbors. So that's been kind of fun to plant some things that I didn't already have, or some things I already had, but the neighbors have helped to get this garden going for me. This one as well is a new garden. This is the My Monet Wygelia on the top.
Okay.
And that was planted in the early spring and has spring pink flowers in the spring. And then the variegated foliage I think is very pretty.
Yeah, you have that the rest of the season.
Right. Uh-huh. And it is starting to grow.
Let's see, we got geraniums and
This is another coreopsis. The yellow here is a coreopsis. This one's called Jethro Tull. And our son, when he asked me, he says, what kind of flower is that? And I told him it was a coreopsis and the name was Jethro Tull. And he says, well, that guy's a singer. And I said, well, maybe they named it after him.
I wouldn't have known that.
And these are asters, the other plants that aren't out yet.
Fall-
Those are
fall blooming.
Fall blooming,
Okay, now down here at the grass level, the little things with the curlicues on them that look like seed pods maybe?
That is a clematis. It's just a little bush clematis, and it blooms early in the spring.
Does it have bell-shaped flowers?
Sort of. Sort of. I suppose you could call it a bell-shaped flower.
Yeah, it's been surprising to me to find that there are shrubs. They don't. They're not all vines. And the
I
shrubs
didn't
are nice.
take a picture of it so that I had a picture, but yes, it's in. And then the little seed pod is kind of cute.
Yes, it is. This is another
Bird's nest
bird's
spruce.
nest spruce. I don't think we've got the other one yet, do we? Okay. Climbing up the hill. Okay, you've got a huge clump of this lily here.
Yes, and you just told me what it is. It's called American Turk's Cap, Lilium superbum. Well, I never knew what it was. It was a gift from one of our friends who lives in Coldwater, and I loved it at her house, and she said, well, go dig some up. And so I got 3 or 4 bulbs, but as you can see, they spread because of the little blue or black seeds along the stem. And so they do spread. And then, of course, so does the chameleon plant that spreads as well. But I do love the lilies. They're very pretty.
Okay, I catch the beauty of it because it is beautiful here.
And then, of course, where the Longenberger basket is, that is covering our well pit. So there's a well cover there, and we just put in something to our decoration just so that it's covered up.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to close now. I want to thank you very much for,
thank
for letting us
you.
come and videotape, but even more so for the community to be able to come and see all this work that you've done.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Would like to become a master gardener? Call 969-0270, extension 116. If you have questions or suggestions about this show, call 963-1448.